So there we go. It's come around once again. Super League Raw time, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, as always, to Tuesday night debating the finest sport in the world. Good evening, Greg. How are you?
Good evening, I'm all right, sir. How are you?
Yes, living the dream, living the dream.
Reacting
not
to
watching the rugby,
messages. Say again?
when I'm not watching my rugby team, I'm living the dream.
Yes. Let's not go there, eh?
What can you do? Yes,
Indeed.
happy days. So obviously Challenge Cup weekend is coming gone. Super League returns for round number 7 for a week, and of course then we're back to the Challenge Cup, aren't we, next week? Just a quick turnaround, isn't it, on this occasion?
It is, yeah.
Quick turnaround.
Yeah, well, the finals in May this year, I think.
It is indeed.
It would have been nice to have gone to see Spurs' new ground, but that's another avenue of pleasure denied to Warrington fans this year.
Never fancied him, mate. Never fancied him.
Save me a few bob in May, so you know.
Absolutely. Graham Parrish is already with us. He's quick on the draw, straight in. Good to see Graham. How are you, sir? Let's just have a quick recap, shall we, of the weekend in terms of the Challenge Cup. Let's take a look at it. So this was the way it went down. So these were the results, of course. Wigan Warriors, surprising that one. Nilling Salford. Salford have been in reasonably good form.
I thought Salford would put up a bit. Well, I don't know. I wasn't there. Maybe Salford played better than that scoreline suggests. That winning margin was a surprise to me.
Yeah, it was me as well. And good evening to Sean Allen Spencer and Mark Mellin. They've just come into the group. Surprising. I mean, obviously, I watched all the highlights on the Rugby League Challenge Cup YouTube channel. We're not going to be showing them tonight because, to be fair, a lot of blowouts. And of course, this is a Super League. We focus primarily on the league. We'll probably start covering the highlights, quarterfinals onwards, because hopefully there's going to be some proper tussles in there. Whitehaven expectedly fell quite heavily to St Helens. Sheffield Eagles, again, heavy defeat to Hull FC. Well done to Featherstone, well done to Lee. Read the reports in League Express, saw the highlights as well.
Yeah, Featherstone winning at half-time.
Yeah, they both put up a really good show, mate. Yeah. And, which was good, but again, the Super League clubs coming through. The league, I mean, I expected Castleford to win that, but dearie, I mean, we'll talk about Leeds in a minute. Castleford, very, very good. Greg Eden continuing his great form in that game.
Fine form, Greg Eden, at the minute. If he can stay in P3, who knows what he can do.
Yes, a man called Alan John Kane has just said good evening. Don't know who he is. Yeah, I don't know who he is. Bob Norman.
A cup of tea.
That would be lovely. Bob Norman is with us. Steve Cartledge, as always, checking us out. Good to see you. And of course, Sunday, the catastrophe at Warrington. We'll talk about Warrington in a bit as well. I think we need to. And then finally, Huddersfield. Again, Barrow. Not a bad effort from Barrow.
Was it the Barrow coach who said that some of his players were going on shift that night and some would be working the day after? And the effort they put in there, I think that might put a certain few Super League players to shame, a comment like that.
Well, I don't know which Super League players you're talking about, but yeah, I mean, I wonder. Absolutely, well done to Barrow. So, in fairness, I mean, we said last week when we just had a quick look at the Challenge Cup at the end of last week's programme that, the Wakefield Warrington one was going to be a bit of a toss-up, at 12-0 up. I mean, we'll talk about it in more detail in a minute. But everything else pretty much went the way we expected it to go. And, of course, the draw took place, and this was the draw. So we've got, and we'll review these in more detail next week. Wakefield will take on Wigan. Hull KR, they will go up against Castleford. That should be a good game. Huddersfield, Hull FC, another good game, of course. They've already had I think it was Hull, wasn't it, who turned Huddersfield over at Hull a couple of weeks ago. So Huddersfield will be looking for revenge there. And I think Catalan as well at home, and they will be looking for some sort of retribution for that pretty mediocre display to kick off the season. Of course, Catalan, the informed Super League team, 5 on the spin going into round number 7. So, without further ado, let's start talking a few bits and pieces. No real surprise. What little delights have we pulled out to have a quick chat about tonight? No surprises where we're going to start. The Wire in crisis, the Leeds crisis. A couple of things on that. Everington has said he's going to scout the Aussie coaches on that. But again, in League Express, Gary Schofield says Ellery, Hanley and Maguire will be his choice. So we'll have a little chat around that. Amor flies the flag for Cumbria off the back of the game at Whitehaven this weekend. And then finally is Common Sense returning to the game. And we'll have a quick chat out. So first of all, Greg, I was working on Sunday. You had the somewhat misfortune of being there.
I did.
Warrington 12-0 up, seemingly cruising. Then, to quote Darryl Powell, didn't handle the pressure well. Obviously, how that wasn't a penalty try at the end of the first half, I will never know.
Okay.
And then from there, Wakefield, Lino again in great form for Wakefield, knocking Warrington out. Before you go into it, obviously, Darryl Powell has come out and pretty much put it very firmly on the toes of the players. He's publicly said that some aren't buying in to what he wants to do. I could probably guess who they are. And is it the time for the coach to get the backing of the board and say, right, if you're not going to back me, I'll play the likes of Conor Wrench and Josh Fewlis and the players who do want to play for me. And yes, we will go for a proper transitional season and we'll recruit accordingly for next year. Discuss, Mr. Nixon, discuss.
Well, we have to be careful. You know, we've got to find a fine balance between, we can't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
No.
We've got to be sensible about it. I mean, that performance, what pressure? 12-0 up. What pressure?
No.
We didn't get pressured. There was no pressure. And then suddenly it just imploded. Danny Walker was having the game of his life and took him off. When he took Danny Walker off, that's when the tide started to turn, in my opinion. Yes, it should have been a penalty try. It should have been a sin binning. There's nothing. I was as gobsmacked as anyone that they didn't even go to the screen for that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, here we go. This is the turning point, which obviously wasn't at that point. The kids acquitted themselves. There was a moment in the game when Widdop, I think if I remember correctly, there was a kick through and Widdop got the ball in acres of space, and all he had to do was put his foot down and go. And it was as if he'd stopped and waited for the Wakefield defence to catch him, and no other Warrington player went with him. Yeah, he genuinely stopped and looked around, and he got tackled.
Yeah.
And at that moment, I realised there's something badly wrong here.
For those who are tuning in, this isn't just a quick one, mate. Just for those tuning in, maybe for the first time, it's not a Warrington show. We're starting with Warrington because Warrington is in crisis. We're going to move on to Leeds and other things in a minute. But yeah, it was a shock. Warrington now 2 defeats from 2 at home to Wakefield in the space of a week. Obviously, 3 wins followed by 3 losses and real downturn in performance and noticeably attitude. So we have to talk about it. It could be any club. I was talking to
somebody last night about this, who said you think for weeks now those forwards are being told they're not that they're not good enough, they're just not big enough. Right. You think those forwards of the group would turn around to each other and say, "Come on, lads."
Yeah, I mean, obviously I was at work.
What's been said about us? Let's do something about us.
Yeah.
And thankfully David Fafita wasn't playing on Sunday, because he'd have walked through us.
Well, I mean, I was listening to the radio. I was on my break, I was on my dinner, so I managed to take my dinner in time to listen to the first half. And the commentary team on BBC GMR were basically saying that, for the first 20 minutes, Warrington forwards were dominant, and then after that, it just fell apart.
Yeah. One break and they fell apart. Darryl Powell says we couldn't handle the pressure. You handle the pressure when you're 12-0 down after 5 minutes, not when you're 12-0 up.
Yeah.
Tony Smith's team would have won that 60-0. Steve Price's team would have won that 16-4.
Yeah. But the thing was, this is a big transition, because you know, I think, you know, Smith had a decent balance at Warrington. Price's era, you know, and we saw this with Wigan last year. You know, defending. If you set your stall out to be, you know, difficult to beat, you know, work on your defensive systems. Yeah. It's not entertaining for the fans, but you know what? You're going to stay in the arm wrestle. You know, it's a lot harder to you know, score points, I believe, than to defend points. You know, if a team it's like football. If you put 11 men behind the ball, people are going to have trouble scoring a goal. But the game is about scoring tries. And I think what Warrington this season, they've got a coach now who believes in expansive rugby, in attacking rugby. And of course, they've had 3 seasons under Price where it's been defensive structures. It's been pretty drab. And there's that transition. And again, I say about the kids, if you're going to transition, sometimes it's a lot easier to bring in, as he has done, a couple of fresh faces. Because I think the faces that he's got, I mean, Matauti has been a bit of a miss. We've both said that. I think Holmes is a class player. You was impressed with Billy McGulis, weren't you?
He was all right, actually. I mean, in the warm-up I was watching him. I think he dropped the ball every time it's past him. I thought, oh, my God.
Craig Teetsel moment.
Craig Teetsel. And then, but he came on, and you know what? He put himself about a bit.
Yeah.
Tony Smith, you know, everybody who watches this show knows we've got a bit of men crushes on Tony Smith.
Absolutely.
But he came to Warrington, he put a marker down. He got rid of Martin Gleeson, he put Breers on the bench straight away, almost straight away.
Yeah, he did, yeah. Well, he got rid of Gleeson, didn't he, pretty quick?
Yeah, with whatever issues there was at the club, and we will never be privy to that. He laid a marker in the sand.
Yeah.
Breers was dropped.
Yeah.
And
rescued his career. And again, you talk about attitude of players. Lee Breers was dropped, conformed, and went on to have his best spell at Warrington.
Exactly, under Tony Smith.
Under Tony Smith, yeah, absolutely.
So if Daryl Powell now has to put a marker down in the sand, he has to make, and even on I don't think he will, but against Hull KR on Friday, let's see some of the youngsters come through.
Yeah,
Ellis Longstaff, Hewlis,
Duro, mate.
Well, he's still out at the moment, I think.
He isn't Widnes, mate, and I've got a colleague who supports Widnes. Oh, I mean, we think we've got it bad, but you know, he supports Widnes, and he actually, but he's been very, very complimentary on Duro. He thinks a player. Just a couple of comments. Steve talking about the attendances that, you know, like about
1,600, mate. Shocking.
About 8 years ago, any season ticket holder, they get the first round of the Challenge Cup as part of the season ticket. Why wouldn't you do that? I mean, you could tell Warrington was in a flap. I don't know about other clubs, because the amount of marketing they did in terms of getting for a tenner, you could tell that it wasn't going to be good.
Still charge me 22 quid for a ticket.
You are a trooper, sir. In terms of Sean Allen Spencer, he's saying he doesn't understand why already certain people are calling for Powell to be sacked. I think that's just narrow-minded. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, we judge him after a season like anybody. You know, you've got to let him have a seat. In fact, actually, I'd go as far as to say, in the same spirit as Ian Watson and Brett Hodgson, you know, they went into Hull and Huddersfield last year. It was a sacrifice season, didn't really perform. But this season thus far, touch wood for those fans.
There's no way.
They'll be judged.
There's no way that Powell should go.
No way. I agree with you.
And going back to marketing, sorry to interrupt you, Dave, there. This kind of sums Warrington up. I went to the shop to get my ticket. You know what I'm going to say, don't you? I went to the shop to get my ticket, and in the window, proudly displayed is "Welcome Tallywell Jones, the home of the Wizzy Rascal." I tell you what, put Wizzy Rascal in the front row, he'd do a better job.
When you told me that, because I've not been to the game.
Absolutely.
Next time, I'll tell you what. Next home game, we need to take a photo of us next to that sign.
And Wizzy Rascal stood like this.
Oh, God.
It's a 3-year-old kid.
In a go-kart.
I mean, brilliant. fair play to the, you know, but come on.
I mean, as a first game gimmick,
home of the Super League champions, the home of Wizzy Rascal.
Mate, as a first game gimmick, yeah, but come on, really. So yeah, Warrington, we don't expect any real pressure on Powell. What I would say to any supporter of any team, you know, there's this argument: we pay the money, we can do what we want. But for me, you should never boo your team. You should never boo your team. That's not that is not going to help anything. Because
in fact, a team walking off to stone silence
He's probably better. Yeah.
I remember Ian Botham.
Yeah.
The famous Botham's Ashes Test series. He walked off to silence at Lords after getting out in the second innings for another duck. And that spurred him on to become the player he was. If those players walk off to deafening silence from the fans, that is going to disturb them more than anything. So don't boo them, don't applaud them.
And obviously, you know, what I would say, I mean, you're in the South Stand. I've moved across to the North with my little lad this year. From the North Stand, the atmosphere's been really poor. I don't know if it sounds louder in the South Stand when you're in it, it's been poor. I mean, Warrington normally, really, a lot of chanting, and in every game, you know, obviously I've been to all bar the Challenge Cup game because of work commitments, but basically every league game that we've had, the 3 league games we've had at home this year, the atmosphere has been really poor, and that's not Warrington-esque either. So that needs addressing.
Reminds me a little bit of United at Old Trafford. The atmosphere is poor, but you go away with United fans, and the atmosphere is brilliant.
Yeah, the hardcore.
It's been like that at away games. The Leeds game, the atmosphere in the Warrington fans was brilliant.
Yeah, well, Sean Allen Spencer going back in now. We haven't got time to debate this one, but we'll just leave Warrington with. We'll let Sean have the final word before we move on to Leeds. Sean says Fitzpatrick only cares about marketing and his own back pocket, doesn't care about anything else. His recruitment, the less said, the better. So we'll leave Warrington there for this week. We'll now
can I say, Sean? Hello, Sean.
Indeed, Sean.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
100%. That's where the book stops, and that's where the have to be made.
Yeah, I can't disagree. I think this goes beyond the playing group. There's a cultural issue, and it needs sorting.
Yeah. One day the guy was a water carrier. The next he was the boss of the club.
For me, well, absolutely. Yeah, it's one of them. It's got to get sorted. Right, Leeds. Oh dear. I mean, I will remind you. I think you put them finishing second this season.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah,
it's all right. Don't worry. I weren't far behind you. I think I had them as fourth.
Yeah,
I think I might have had them as fourth. Because when you looked at the squad in the pre-season, you thought, do you know what? If Caesar and Austin, but I mean, those two. What a disappointment. Caesar, I mean, he's like, I think you said it last week, he's like a crab. He goes left and right, he doesn't go forward. And I mean, it's just so, I mean, I feel for Leeds fans because it's really, really poor, really poor. And, you know, there was just no passion, no drive. You know, all right, don't you know, I'm saying nothing away from Cass. Cass did the job and did it well. Greg Eden, phenomenal form. I thought the pack play well. I'll tell you who really impressed me. Kenny Edwards.
Yeah,
Edwards had a belting game in second row.
Probably his best game for quite some time. I must admit,
he was superb in that game. And yeah, you know, but Leeds got it big. I mean, and you just, how bad can it actually get? Because even JJB, did you see JJB's press conference? He was there in tears.
Yeah. Well, he's a Leeds lad through and through. He's been there.
Yeah.
Do you know? Teams have ups and downs, and teams have bad patches and good patches. And Leeds fans, I suppose, are a bit like Warrington fans in that they're scratching their head. We can see the problems at Warrington. The pack isn't, and hasn't been for a while, isn't big enough.
Yeah, but Pryor and Aletsky aren't firing, are they, for Leeds?
Huh?
Aletsky and Pryor have been really, really disappointing.
I think Aletsky's carrying the pack, if I'm being honest with you. I don't think Aletsky's getting the support from the rest of the pack.
Yeah, true.
And you know, I do sympathise with Leeds fans because they're going through the same mysterious conundrum that Warrington fans are going through. Where's your next swing coming from?
I don't know. Well, we'll look ahead to this week in a minute, but got Saints this week, mate.
I think the problem with Leeds is, and I think it's been well documented, is that they've never really replaced the golden generation. They were blessed. It's like United in the 90s and early 2000s. They were blessed with talented young players who came through the ranks. Leeds were the same.
Yeah.
And I don't think they've replaced them with good players.
As they were coming to the end of the careers, yeah. I agree with you.
They haven't got that nucleus of homegrown talent like the Maguires, the Burrows, the Sinfields.
Yeah. I think that, I mean, they've got, I mean, it's like Newman. I said, I think 2 weeks ago, was it the Salford game? Was it the Salford game? One of the games where Harry Newman, I think it was the game he got injured. I thought up until he went off, he looked the part. I mean, and I tell you who's impressed me as well. Jack Walker at 4. I think Jack Walker can hold his head up high because he's not done much wrong, Jack Walker, and what I've seen. I think he's been steady away. And I'm really now starting to clutch. And Cruz Lehman as well. Cruz Lehman's trying to carry him, but with the exception of those players.
Whereas Warrington are being let down by the pack,
the backs.
Leeds are being let down by their halfback pairing. I think, in my opinion, Leeds fans might tell me I'm talking rubbish.
Yeah.
But whereas, if Warrington had Leeds pack, I think they'd be firing.
I won't go as far as say Leeds pack. I think members of Leeds, certainly the front row. Certainly
I'd have a Ledsky.
I'd have a Ledsky.
Cameron Smith. I'd take Cameron Smith in a heartbeat. He's a good young player.
But it's where you're going to put me. I mean, based on what you said, where's Magoulis going? Is he? Where do you see him? Prop, second row, loose forward?
Well, I think he played prop on Sunday. I don't know. He could have been on the wing for.
Well, just changing track away from the team. Hetherington going. I mean, a lot of speculation over Tony Smith. Tony Smith has tried to put a bit of cold water on. He's contracted until the end of this season. Would he go back? I don't know. Smith doesn't give me that impression that he'd go back. It's like I don't think he'd ever contemplate coming back to Warrington.
Smith will never go back to Warrington.
Would he go back to Leeds? I don't know. But obviously, is this a smoke screen? Does Everington just want a bit of sun on his back going off to Aussie for a couple of weeks? But he's off to Australia to look at coaches over there. But I was quite taken by. Because I hadn't really considered this. Obviously, Hanley coming back to do the Combined Nations coaching. Schofield in his article on Monday, basically going through his credentials in terms of what he's achieved. Last Britain coach to go and win over in Australia. A Super League championship at St Helens. I'm trying to remember which team it was that he coached in the lower leagues and got promoted. So the guy's got and let's be fair, he is a rugby league legend. Interesting, and of course a former Leeds player, and he said that he'd have him in with Maguire and JJB as his understudies, with one of those two being groomed for long-term coaching in the future. So interesting.
But we thought that about Ian Henderson at Warrington when Steve Price was appointed. They had Ian
we did. Yeah,
we thought, well, this is it. Steve Price for 3 years, and then Ian Henderson steps up, and obviously something went wrong there. But why not? Why not give a British coach a chance? Why is Australia always the answer? Because you're not going to get the Craig Bellamy's. No. And the coaches that are doing well over there now, the Maguires, have been the ones who cut the teeth over here.
Yeah.
And done well at teams that had a good squad.
Absolutely. No, I don't.
You see Steve Price going back over to Australia as a head coach.
No, he certainly isn't that. So anyway, massive problems for Leeds. Obviously, got the Saints. We'll talk about that game in a bit. But Saints this weekend. Right, Amor. We very, very briefly. Kyle Amor, captain for the day against Whitehaven, came out afterwards, and rightly so. Talking about the Cornwall experiment, or what's going on in other parts of the country, and he's just basically pointing to the Cumbria, saying, that's of course where he came from, where Morgan Knowles came from. The talent is there, the heritage is there, the passion for the sport is there. And he's almost saying to, the powers that be in the rugby league, all this grant money that you've got and this, that, the other, invest it in Cumbria, because that's where you're going to grow the sport far quicker. At least you've got an opportunity to grow the sport in that part of the world and going and trying and do it in the likes of Cornwall.
I agree 100%, mate. I think it was Mike Gregory's autobiography where he said that Super League missed a massive trick by not having a Cumbrian team or combined Cumbria. I know the likes of Barrow and Workington and Whitehaven, etc., did like Warrington fans. They protested. The fans had a heritage. The teams had a heritage. But I think it's Mike Gregg's autobiography where he said they missed a massive trick by not having a Cumbria team in Super League.
The thing is, though, mate, that was 20 odd years ago, and I think
what the point I'm making is it was recognised then that Cumbria should have a say.
They should. What I mean by that is at the time, because of course it was a traditional structure.
Yeah,
absolutely. But it'd be interesting now, and I don't know, I could be completely wrong, if Cumbria was given a franchise. Would the likes of the Whitehavens of this world and the rest actually put up as big a resistance? Because they've been out the top flight for so long now. is it a case of, well, look, we dug our heels, and Cumbria, you know, if you know anybody who's watching is from Cumbria, let me know what you think. But you know, at the time, yeah, we're digging our heels in the ground, but they've been in the wilderness now for 20 odd years. If they polled them again, would they change their mind?
I don't know. As long as the likes of Barrow, Whitehaven, Workington could continue as teams,
yeah,
but then it could weaken them as teams. I think he's right. I think Cumbria needs to be invested in it has to be the next big place the rugby league invests in. It's traditional, you know. I've played against Cumbrian teams a long, long time ago, and they love their rugby league. They're just, you know, the big. It's a big rugby league area. It's part of the heartland. I think he's 100% right. Let's invest there. Let's stop. Let's stop trying to expand the game and ignore the teams and the areas that have supported the game for nearly 130 years. Let's get that bit right and then expand it.
Before you open the front door, shut the back door. There's a little quote for you. But yeah, Sean Allen Spencer, just a little, you know what I'm like. Sean, could we see Brian McDermott going back to Leeds? I would say no. In the answer to that,
there were rumours, but I think he's dismissed it, and that he's not going to that.
And then finally, before we go into something a little bit different that we're going to do in a minute, because obviously we've had a week off, so we've got to fill in the time. We've got an interesting one that we hope people will get involved with on the chat, and let us know your thoughts in a minute. We'll just keep that one under wraps for a minute. But before we do, last news item is Common Sense returning. I saw a dramatic difference in the officiating over the weekend. There seemed to be, dare I say it, an element of common sense that suddenly came in. A couple of high shots that, you know, but again, what I didn't like was some of the players trying to get people sin-binned, but you know, but a lot of the referees were just, you know, batting it away. No, not happening.
And it's good to see. And let's hope, you know, we're all concerned about player welfare, but there are a lot, as we've said for the last God knows how many weeks, there are other things that can be done to protect player welfare without destroying the physicality of the game. I mean, you know, that Wakefield, not going to the screen for that Wakefield penalty try was maybe relaxing the rules a little bit too much. But yeah, and it's good to see the games have flowed a lot more this week. And let's hope it carries on. Let's hope it continues into, you know, the rest of the season. We do this though, don't we? Every season we do this. We have a crackdown on something, and people players are being sin-binned, red carded, left, right, and centre. The difference this season is the players have complained.
And the coaches and the fans. So I call that the Trinity.
The difference is the actual players.
Yeah.
You know, that tweet from Charlie saying, "Can somebody from the RFL tell me why I've been banned?" Because that is a bigger mystery than the Bermuda Triangle, that one, I'm afraid.
Well, mate, and that the Fanua one. I mean, that was just absolutely ludicrous. Right, okay, so we've gone through a few bits and pieces. What we're going to do is we're going to get back into Super League. And before we do, just so that me and Greg can recharge our glasses and get ready for this next bit, what we'll do is we'll just remind you who the top performers are in Super League thus far. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do that. So enjoy what is about to come, ladies and gentlemen. Guitar on a Tuesday night is.
Oh, I love that. I love that music.
Quality tune. That one is.
That should be our theme tune, mate.
Let's get into just a quick hellos, just so we can get these through. So Elliot Humphreys, Lucas Fisher, Jack Fox, a few new ones here tonight. Mark Redburn, Alan Till, Linda Brown, Jim Roberts, Mark Jackson, Paul Jenny, Mike Taylor. I could go on. Ashley Stones. Welcome, one and all. Right. So what we're going to do? Get involved. Get involved. Okay. Before tonight's show, me and Greg have not discussed this, by the way. We needed to fill this one out a little bit. So what we decided to do, we decided to go, right, who would our 1 to 13 be for the season thus far in each position? Which players in each position have caught our eye thus far in Super League rounds 1 to 6? So we may as well kick straight off. I've got a funny feeling on this one, though, even though we haven't discussed it. I think it's between two. The question is, which one have you gone for? Fullback, Greg. I'll let you kick us out. We'll do it. We'll call it into.
All right. Okay. Well,
it
was, as you say, a toss up between two players.
Those being,
and I've Jake Connor and Jay Field.
Absolutely.
And I've gone for Jay Field.
Yeah. Difficult not to, isn't it? You know, really difficult not to go for Jay Field.
Jake Connor has been
phenomenal.
Has been outstanding this season.
Yeah.
That try he scored the other week where he just dummied the kick was just
box office, mate. Box office. On his days, box office, isn't it?
Yeah. But Jay Field, just because of the spectacular tries he scored and the way he scored them, the guy's ripped holes in defences. There wasn't a lot between them, as I said. But
Bevan French is playing, or he's going to play a part for Wigan this week. I just can't see it being fullback. Just to put this into perspective,
I think he might slot in for Thomas Lulu. You know.
Yeah, possibly. Jay Field, just to put this into perspective.
Whatever.
No, maybe. I don't know. All I know is that Jay Field is undroppable, unstoppable, unplayable. Jay Field, 7 tries, 3 assists, 31 tackles, 967 meters, 10 clean breaks in 6 games.
Am I right in saying he's had 93 carries as well?
He has indeed. It's scandalous, the statistics of Jay Field. So well done to Jay Field. Right, I'll kick off in terms of doing it. We'll do both wingers. So I'll pick the first. I'll go. Obviously, I would expect it's between 3 top try scorers, all being wingers. Tommy Makinson, Ken Seo, Josh Charlie. I've gone for Tommy Makinson on the right-hand side of my wings. Reason being is he is the top scorer in Super League. He's currently sitting on, just get this one right, 64 points. The next closest to him is Mark Sneed on 52. He's obviously joint top try scorer with 8. He's also made 2. 893 metres made, again, not shabby at all in terms of that. Just a good pro. And of course, 16 goals as well. Big influence on St. Helens, having a great season. Would you put Makinson in your team?
Tommy Makinson, number 2 all day long, 93 carries again.
Absolutely.
Like we say every week, we seemingly say every week about Tommy Makinson, reliable.
Incredibly so. I think he's made 5, hasn't he?
Say again, sorry, mate.
I think he's made 5 of our 6 teams of the week this year, Tommy Makinson.
Let iron out that little bit of his game that can get me in trouble a few times. I think Josh Charlie's unfortunate because if he hadn't had that ban, I think Josh Charlie could well have been ahead in the try scoring. Charlie's still joint top try scorer even though he's missed 2 games. So Josh Charlie might be unfortunate to miss out on that. Ken Seo, solid again. Ken Seo, leading try scorer last season. Tommy Makinson, though. Yeah, definitely.
So who have you got on the other wing?
I have gone for Ash Hanley.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, okay. 94 carries, 777 meters, 5 tries.
Yeah.
Also done his defensive bit. 26 5 from marker. So I've gone Ash Hanley. I know that might not.
Fair enough.
Well,
fair enough. Okay. Before I tell you my wing, look, Hanley. He's been all right for Leeds.
And remember, in a Leeds team that has been struggling.
Mate, it's all about opinion. Happy days. Graham Parrish has been on. He says we need to get rid of the 6 again rule. It's spawned the game. We've had this chat, Graham. 100%. Certainly when the attacking team is in their own half, 100%. I think if the attacking team has got a roll on in the opposition's half, then I would class it rather than stopping the game. I think if you've got a roll on, because you see a lot of teams now tapping from 30, 40 metres out. So for me, in your own half, yes, you should be given the penalty so you can boot the ball further downfield. But yeah, couldn't agree with you more on that. Sean Allen, Spets Sean again. Mark, ATAC is back, but Sean leading from the front on the chat. He's posted his team there when we, at the moment, he's agreeing with Field, he's agreeing with Makinson. He's gone Charlie, though. He's gone Josh Charlie on the wing. I'm actually going Ken Sio. And the reason I'm going Ken Sio, to back up what he did last year, top try scorer last year. And let's be fair, it is Salford, like you were saying against Leeds, Salford, decent start to the campaign, but CO absolutely outstanding. 750 metres to Charlie's 336 for me was the clincher. Obviously, Charlie's not played every game as well, which makes his 8 tries impressive, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I've gone Ken CO for that. You've gone Handley, and Sean has gone Charlie. More people get involved. We'll give you a shout out with your team. Right, let's go to the centres. I'll pick my first centre. I'm going to go, because I think we might agree on one. So I'm going to put the one that might be contentious. In the centres, candidates not made it. I think Kai Pearce-Paul, who's going to be out for a few weeks, it would have been.
Yeah, he's out injured, unfortunately.
I think he's adapted well to going into the centres for Wigan. I think he's worth a mention. He's done well. Not really, from a Catalan perspective, Langhi, Ware, of course, but they haven't been firing for me. Conrad Hull's had a decent start to the season for St Helens, I would say. He's been pretty decent. Latelli had he had a standout game worthy of a mention. But the one I've gone for, which might catch a few people by surprise, is Josh Griffin of Hull FC. I've been really impressed with Josh Griffin, not just the fact, actually another one who's unfortunately is Guy Armitage at Toulouse. I think he's surprised a few as well. But Josh Griffin. Just the reason I put Josh Griffin in is I've seen a bit of Hull this year, and even in the game, in the games where they're on top, he's a driving force. He's putting the meters in. He's back. He's doing well in defence and in attack. But what I've also been impressed with Josh Griffin is his leadership. When the chips have been down, the amount of times you've seen Griffin holding his teammates to account for poor defending or whatever it may be. So, I'm not a Hull fan, so I don't see him every day, but I've seen a lot of that this season. And I think, we've talked a lot about Warrington and Leeds. Everything that Warrington and Leeds are lacking, Josh Griffin has shown in spades this year. Absolutely incredible. So because he's played well, because he's contributed both in attack and defence, and because of his leadership, I'm going Josh Griffin of Hull FC as one of my centres. We might agree on the other one. I've already seen that Sean has who I put in on the other side. Latelli's been awesome, says Mark, the Huddersfield fan. I thought he might say so. But have you got a surprising centre in there, would you say?
Well, I think I might have.
Go on, mate.
I've gone for a player who, yes, hasn't hit the straps, but has shown the other side of his game this season.
Okay.
So I've gone for Samisoni Langhi. Simply because his defence this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. His attack hasn't been as much or so far in this season. We've got a long way to go, but he stood up in defence. 87 tackles, 500 centimetres, 500 centimetres, 2 tries. I think he's stepped up his defensive game this season, and I agree with Josh Griffin leadership wise.
Yeah.
But I think Langhi's kind of shown the other side of his game in the early part of this season, and shown that he can not only can he score tries, but he can also get in the way of a few as well.
How many meters did you say Langhi got?
570.
Yeah, Josh 708. How many tackles has he done?
77. 87.
Oh yeah, you've got me on that. 60. We'll do a bit of touch trumps. 61. How many tries?
He's always scored 2.
Oh, so actually, so is Josh Griffin. So is Josh Griffin, to be fair. So yeah, it is a close one. That one.
I did look at Griffin, I looked at Latelli as well, and I thought, do you know what? No, because Lange doesn't get praised for his defence enough, I don't think.
Yeah, no fair play.
And that's why I thought, well, do you know what? He's shown the other side of his game, and I can't argue with Griffin. I'd have Griffin in the centres at Warrington all day long.
Yeah, good player. But played well this year. Yeah. He's played really well this year.
Was it Josh Griffin
31 as well
against Saints in the game last year? Was that Josh Griffin whose Achilles went?
No, that was Joe Cater, wasn't it?
No, in the semi-final last year.
Oh God, mate! Mate, how many times have I slept since then? I don't know.
I think it was Josh Griffin. Somebody will remind us on. I think it was Josh Griffin whose Achilles went.
Yeah.
And Farge scored, really showing real sportsmanship.
Yeah.
Scored while he lay screaming on the floor. Yeah. I'm sure it was Josh Griffin. So yeah, to come back from that injury, it shows a bit of
fair play. Fair play. Get involved. Only Sean's got involved at the moment, telling us what his 1 to 13 would be. But he's actually made Mark Attacks Day because he has actually put Latelli in there.
Yeah.
And yeah, happy days. And yeah, Sean is coming again. It was Josh Griffin who did his himself in the semi-final. So good knowledge, Reg. Good knowledge that. I'll take that one. Take that one all day long, sir. In fact, I'll even have a beer in your honour. Good evening, sir. All right, best. In terms of the other side of the centres,
I think we might agree on this one.
Percival.
Yes.
Yeah, everybody's going Percival on that. Yeah, and very difficult not to go Percival, I would say, on that. Just absolute consistency in it. I mean, it's as simple as that. We're talking consistency.
77 tackles, 656 metres, 6 offloads, 86 carries, 4 tries. That's what a centre does. 6 offloads with Ringer. That's what
dare I say, for a centre, 6 games in, pretty flawless.
Yeah.
To be fair, and to be fair, and again, how many times have we took abuse from, dare I say, our friends in St Helens over last year? We were critical. Percival should not have been in the team yet. No way was Percival better than Mamo last year. You can argue who the better player is all you want. Actually, on games played in 2021, Mamo should have been in the team a year. This year, he's head and shoulders the number 1 centre.
Yeah,
in the league. Well, as much as we're Warrington fans, we say this every week. We're not biased. So, when people tell us to pick a 1 to 13, that's their club. Come on, we're doing this because we're celebrating the game of rugby league. In terms of standoff, then standoff. Oh yeah, let's get back to him. Is it okay? You've gone there. Standoff. Do you want to kick us off, mate? Have you done your standoff?
I've gone for Tui Lolohea.
Okay, he's been playing full. He's been playing fullback.
Is he?
Mm.
Well,
yeah. For the first 4 rounds, when Will Price was out, I'm pretty sure he's been playing fullback.
All right. Well, I've got him at number 6.
Fair enough. Don't get me wrong. He's having a good season. But slightly out of
position. See you next week, everyone. Bye.
I'll see you next week, mate. You peaked with the knowledge of Josh Griffin of last year.
Let myself down badly there.
But no, in terms of brilliant.
If he had been playing there though. He'd been pretty good. Sorry, he's done all right. Oh, time for bed.
Right, so I'd tell you who I've gone with. In terms of Sean's gone with Johnny Lomax, which I've got no issue with that. I think Lomax has been decent, but the one I've gone with, you never know. You never know how a player's going to adapt. And with every game, Cade Cust at Wigan is really starting to catch my eye. Good game again at the weekend. In Super League this year, a try, 8 assists. He's got a decent kicking game. One big faux pas in terms of defence that we've seen. That was a Catalan. Shocking. But did any Wigan player play well that night? Yeah. But no, to be fair, I've got no allegiances to the cherry and white, as anybody would know. But, again, where credit is due, I'll give it. So for me, I've gone Cade Cust, a decent transition into Super League and very consistent over the first 6 rounds.
Well, I did say he might have been my dark horse for Man of Steel. And obviously, he's better than Tui Lolohea there.
Positionally, yeah.
And he was going so well.
No, but I think he started. I think he has. I think he might have played 1 or 2 games in the house. I'm not sure.
I think he played 3 or 4.
I think he might have done. I think. Right.
Somebody help me out here. Come on.
Yeah, let's move on. Number 7. Who have you gone? Who have you gone at scrum half?
Not saying now. Alex Walmsley. I'm not playing now.
Go
I've gone for Sneyd.
Have you?
Mark Sneyd, yeah.
Okay, yeah, Mike Sneyd. Yeah, he's having a good season, to be fair.
Yeah, for his goal kicking alone, he wins games with his goal kicking and has done this season.
Yeah.
You know, has made a few yards, had a few carries, 87 tackles as well. That's not bad defensively.
Nope,
there were a few I did look at, I must admit. You know, I might have gone for George Williams, but there's had a dip in form, and I couldn't bring myself to put him in there.
No.
But Mark Sneyd.
Okay. Again, you know, don't get me wrong.
Tell me now, he's been playing on the wing for the last.
No. And to be fair, I get you there in terms of goal kicking and the rest of it. But actually, do you know what? The last 2 games, you know, Lionel's been in great form, and if he carries on, who knows if we do this. Maybe around Challenge Cup final time, we might do it. You know, when we've got another 6 games in, we might reassess the season. If he carries on in his form, he'd probably deserve a mention. I've got to give a mention to Josh Drinkwater. I think Drinkwater's been pretty consistent for Catalan. I think he's been good. But the one I've gone for is the person that we debated so much. Was it going to be too soon to give young Lewis Dodd the number 7 shirt at Saints? And I have to say, he has stood up. He's stood up brilliantly.
You might go for Lewis Dodd.
Yeah, 4 tries, you know, showing great maturity. I think he's helped significantly by the fact that 1, he's in a champion team. 2, you know, you've got Johnny Lomax there who, you know, can, you know, really takes a bit of strain off the lad. But yeah, Lewis Dodd, and actually again, Sean's gone, Lewis Dodd. Lola Hoyer did play halfback for the first 2 games, then changed to fullback. I thought he did. But anyway, at the end of the day, I've gone Doddy. I think number 8 is a shoe-in for all 3 of us. I've seen who Sean's gone for. Shoe-in?
No.
Go on. Who are you going for? Surprise me.
You're going to shout me down here, but I looked at 2 players.
Okay.
Side by side.
Okay.
I know you're going to say Walmsley, but I've gone for Aledzki. Stunned silence. You got to tell me now he played in the centres.
Go on, mate. I'm waiting for the justification here. Because
when I compare the 2 together...
Put your glass down, Greg. You've had enough.
I know. Time to go to bed, Mr. Nixon.
Yeah, go on, Aledzki. Go on.
Nurses are here. I compared them.
Yeah.
Aledzki at 190 tackles.
Yeah.
Walmsley 99.
Yeah.
Aledzki 84 carries.
Yeah.
Walmsley 74.
Yeah.
Aledzki 620 meters.
Yeah.
Walmsley 693.
Obviously, Walmsley missed round 6, didn't he?
But 1 try each, 3 offloads each, and obviously the tackle busts. 5 Aledzki, 18 to Walmsley, but nearly 100 tackles more carries, almost as many meters. I know, and it was difficult, but I thought, and that is in an underperforming team. Alex Walmsley has got a team around him.
Yeah.
And I just thought, do you know what? I think Aledzki deserves it because Alex Walmsley, I mean, you know, 18 tackle busts, the guy's a monster. He's good. If he'd have made less than that, I'd have been surprised. But I'm surprised he hasn't made more. And that was my justification.
That's harsh. Dear me.
I mean, they played Warrington. That's harsh. Saints had played Warrington. He could have made 18 tackle busts in the first half alone.
mate. Okay. Yeah, mate, it's about opinion, mate. It's about opinion. For me, it's Walmsley all day long. Sean's going Walmsley on. Yeah. Andy and Sue Kirk are back. Good evening to you. Good to have you along again. Okay, who are you going on the other side? Who's the other prop?
I've gone, and I know he's a second rower, but he's been playing prop. I've gone for Mike McMeekin.
All day long and twice on a Sunday, mate.
Yeah.
All day long. Yeah. Incredible.
Superb.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there, mate. All day long. McMeekin this season has been a revelation. and put his hand up for the team, gone into a different position. Who did Sean go for? Sean's gone for Chris Hill. Interesting.
Not a bad shout though. Not a bad shout.
No, I'll tell you what's interesting. I noticed this. Right, you look at St. Helens' St. Helens stats and Huddersfield stats as a club. Right, so meters made. The Giants 8,169. Saints 7,825. Yeah, I mean, you look at the stats between, again, hard meters down the middle. The Giants this year are absolutely flying. 102nd highest tackle bust in the league after St. Helens at 172. So yeah, you're right. And Chris Hill will be a big part of that. So good shout. I got a good shout. But I think Meakin for me, a revelation. I've always been a fan of his anyway. I think they are missing him on the right edge though, because what Meakin brings is tries, he brings good offloads, he brings speed, on the right edge. But by God, has he put a shift in down that middle? Incredible, really.
Yeah.
So yeah,
he's outperformed a lot of other props.
No, I completely agree. Right, we go into the hooking role. Right, who you going as hooker?
You go first.
Okay. This one may surprise some people, but I've picked this hooker for consistency. Actually, when you think about it, the hookers, we spoke in the preseason of, what a great competition we've got in terms of quality hookers. And I think it's fair to say a lot of these hookers at the minute are in pretty mediocre form. And, as much as, buses come along in twos, it's as consistent as anything. This man is consistent. I've gone Sam Powell Wigan. I've gone Sam Powell Wigan, 2 tries, 1 assist, 242 tackles from hooker. Just for the point of view is Sam Powell is probably not one of the most creative hookers, but he plays an invaluable part. His strength is defence. His strength is a bit of tenacity. And because Clark, McShane, Houghton's been decent. I think if Levy had played the full 6 rounds for Huddersfield, if it had carried on the way he started for Huddersfield over 6 rounds, I think he'd have been a shoo-in. But based on where we currently are 6 games in, I'm going Sam Powell.
Yep, I've got a difference of opinion. I've gone Andy Ackers.
Close, yeah.
I've got Andy Ackers just behind Powell in the tackles.
Yeah.
Similar meters, more carries. Again, consistency. Played well every game, I think.
Yeah.
Andy Ackers. So I've gone Andy Ackers.
Fair play.
Not being controversial. I just think it's kind of more of an all-round game. I think. No, Sam Powell. Yeah, Danny Houghton. They're in the top 3 tacklers. In Super League so far this season. I just thought, I looked at Andy Ackers and thought, he's somebody who flies under the radar.
I can. Yeah, it was close. I mean, don't get me wrong, I considered Ackers. I think Ackers has had a good 6 rounds, to be fair. So I can see that. Lovadura, I think, is where Sean went for that one at Hull FC. Right, let's go left centre. Sean's gone Sione Matautia. Sean, I'm just going to be honest here. Not quite sure why at the moment he's as high in the Super League Man of Steel table. He's playing well. He's a great player. I'm not saying he's not. But when you compare Matautia to other second rowers at the moment, in terms of influence and impact, the same. I'm going to say the same about Morgan Knowles. We can also say Elling's fan saying Morgan Knowles, surely he's got to be a shoo-in for loose forward. I'll spoil it now. He's not in mine because St. Helens are that good a team. You can take Matautia out of that team, and it's going to have a very, very little difference. However, there's other players in the league, and I'd say certainly with Morgan Knowles, where the impact that they have on their team, it's huge. If they weren't there, it's a hole that squad cannot fill. That's what I would say. So for me, appreciate, don't get me wrong, Matautia, I'm not saying it's wrong, just not for me. I don't see this at the minute with Matautia. I didn't see it with Morgan Knowles last year either. I don't think Morgan Knowles deserved to be in Team of the Year. I thought other people deserved it over him. But anyway, that's another story. So I've gone the man again. I think he's been in 5 of our 6 teams of the weeks. The ever young, the ever impressive Mr. Liam Farrell. I just couldn't not put Liam Farrell in the team. I think yet again, incredible consistency. Everything about him, meters made, 5 tries, 1 assist, 656 meters made, 88 carries. He puts his hand up, he puts a shift in, 215 tackles. I think I said that. Yeah, he's just an incredible player. A great start to the season again. So for me, on the left side, I'm going Liam Farrell. Where are you going, mate?
Well, I'm going to give you both of my second rowers because I think they can interchange. I've gone for Liam Farrell and I've gone for Matt Whitley.
Yeah. Whitley's had a good start to the season for Cats, hasn't he?
I've gone for Whitley and Farrell in my second row. Again, they both can interchange left and right. I think that would be a phenomenal second row. Phenomenal second row.
I can see where you're going with that. Sean's gone John Bateman. Personally, I think Farrell's playing better than Bateman. Personally, anyway, again, no dramas. I tell you what,
Bateman. Having said that, Bateman is leaps and bounds better than he was last year.
Oh, mate, yeah. He had a shocker last year.
Yeah, he's getting back to the John Bateman we know.
Yeah, and it's good to see as well, especially World Cup year, because the Aussies have got respect for Bateman, and they will fear Bateman based on what he did when he was over in Australia. Sean there said, I agree. However, he scored many tries when he's played, and his meters per game is incredible. Absolutely, completely agree. It's a close one, right? However, this is going to surprise some, but credit where credit is due. Over the first 6 rounds, my right second row, Chris McQueen, Huddersfield Giants.
Yeah,
absolutely outstanding.
We're big fans of Chris McQueen.
Yeah,
and I did
really impressed. Really impressed with him, mate. Yeah. He's putting his hand up. We just talked about where Huddersfield sit in certain statistics versus St. Helens. Chris McQueen, massive part of that. Great start to the season. Let's give some of these unsung heroes out there a little bit of a rap. So I've gone Chris McQueen.
Yeah, well, that's why I gave Matt Whitley a
absolutely.
He doesn't get the credit he deserves. He's an integral part of that team. But McQueen, again, we are big fans of McQueen on the.
And I tell you, who's unlucky, mate. Frankie Alton. Okay.
Yeah, he is.
Okay. He's had a good start to the season, Frankie Alton.
Yes, he's got good stats as Frankie Alton.
He has indeed. He's playing really well. Again, unsung. He wouldn't have been on the tip of anybody's tongue at the start of the season, but by God, has he had a good first 6 rounds. And then we probably come. Well, we've already said we're not going Morgan Knowles. For me, this was between 2. Who've you gone, Greg?
I've gone Joe Westerman.
Yeah. So Sean, I can't argue with that. I cannot argue with that. We talk about Morgan Knowles. You take Morgan Knowles out of St. Helens, he might not play the weekend. It, for me, doesn't have a huge impact. No. Take Joe Westerman out of Wakefield's team last year, out of Castleford's team this year. That is a massive hole. Westerman has been outstanding.
His performance against Leeds at the weekend was stupendous.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
He's had 220 tackles as a loose forward, 109 carries, 11 tackle busts.
Yeah.
That's a props work. Never mind a loose forward.
Mate, not that I want to disagree with you. I completely get it. He's in great form. Again, dare I say it? You're talking England squads. The lad has been outstanding. But actually, I've got a difference of opinion.
Go on.
I talked about Ken Sio backing up from 2021. Another player who has backed up from 2021 is Luke Yates of Huddersfield Giants at loose forward. 2 tries, 183 tackles, 14 tackle busts, and 618 meters. Another 14. What's that, mate?
I was just asking how many tackle busts. I didn't get
14. Yeah, 14. Yeah. So like I say, really, for me, it was between Westerman and Yates. I really like what Yates is doing. I think, again, a player that has found his natural position in the same way that Joe Philbin's not 8 at Warrington, was Luke Yates an 8 at Huddersfield. He banged him back to loose forward, and he's been a revelation, an absolute revelation. So yeah, a bit of fun there. I enjoyed that. Good chat, really good chat.
Apart from your Lollahea Foes pays.
That was a long time ago, and a lot of people have forgotten about that, mate. If you hadn't brought it back up, you know what I mean.
Well, I'm saying.
Honest as the day is long, sir. It's what I love about you. Right, so let's go to let's go where they stand. Let's just remind ourselves it's been a week of where the current Super League table looks. No real surprises, of course. 3 teams sitting there on maximum 10 points, those being St Helens, Catalan Dragons and Wigan Warriors, then followed by the 2 teams that have been surprisingly, not surprising positions. Really pleased for the coaches, Huddersfield and Hull. Then Warrington, probably going further south before they go north. Salford Red Devils, then Wakefield. Remember, this is wrong. It should be 4, not 6 points. Hull KR 4, Leeds 2, Castleford 2, and then Toulouse Olympic. That's where they stand. Right, let's carry on. Where do we stand? The Super League Fans Forum, as we start to predict round number 7, in stupendous form. 92 points for the Fans Forum this year, with Greg behind on 81, and I am basically still getting out of the blocks. It's been an absolute scandal of a season for me. But anyway, as Greg keeps reminding me, the season is long. Right, let's take a look at the mouth-watering fixtures that are coming our way this week. And they are mouth-watering fixtures. These for different reasons, I think with the exception maybe of one game, should be good battles. Wigan taking on Hull. Really looking forward to watching that on Thursday night. The Giants and Catalan. Don't think Catalan will have that anywhere near their own way. That's going to be interesting to see where we both see that.
It will be. It will be, yes.
Then Castleford Toulouse. That one based on Castleford's form at the moment. Toulouse away. I think Toulouse at home are a dangerous proposition. I think Castleford probably will be too strong there, but we'll get into that in a minute. Hull KR Warrington. You know what? That should be a close one. It'd be interesting. Leeds Saints. Well, actually, yeah, in the same vein as Castleford. I can't see that being a close one. And then Wakefield, Salford again should be an interesting fixture.
That could be an interesting game, that one.
Yeah. So let's go through them one by one. We'll kick off with Wigan against Hull. This is how it looks. Good news for Wigan. Ian Thornley expected to return after his absence. I've already mentioned that Bevan French is expected to be a part of the 17 as well. Obviously announced today that unfortunately Kai Pearce-Paul appears to have done ligament damage. He's going to be out for the foreseeable future. And of course, Cade Ellis and Thomas Luluai suspended for FC. We'll leave it on for the season. Joe Case is going to be there for the rest of the season. We know that, but of course he's going to be a big miss. Scott Taylor still out. Cam Scott, Jamie Shaw, Josh Reynolds. Good for them though that Carlos Timovari returned in that Challenge Cup game for Hull FC, and of course didn't put it on there. But of course, no, that's fine. So yeah, Wigan Warriors. Just that little blot on the copybook. Catalan Dragons. Apart from that, of course, winning last time out against Castleford, and Hull 2 on the bounce. They were on a win one, lose one trajectory.
Yeah, they were. Yeah,
we put that right last time in a tight affair against Huddersfield at home. So 2 wins on the spin. Greg, before you walk us through your thoughts on this, the Fans Forum have had their say. 62% of the Fans Forum believe that this will be an away win. They have gone Hull. They've gone Hull by 0-8.
Wow.
So that's an interesting, surprised me that one. But yeah, the Fans Forum are going Hull 0-8. What's your thoughts? Wigan against Hull.
Bevan French is back.
Yes.
I think Bevan French may well come in for Thomas Luluai.
Okay.
I'm surprised that I think Wigan will win this. I think we're going to win it by 9-17.
Exactly where I am.
I'm. Hull have been playing okay. The thing is, Wigan, they know how to wind up our friend, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is. St Helens and Wigan. If Jake Connor's going to lose his head, it tends to be against St Helens and Wigan. And do you know what? If I was Jake Connor here now, we know who's going to be in the stands. if you're going to go and put on a display, this is the game to go and put on that display.
Yeah, but he has a tendency.
He does.
I don't know what he does. Have a tendency to kind of react to Wigan and Saints, and I think 9-17 Wigan.
Yeah, Sean's saying that he believes it'll be Field who goes to 7 and French will start fullback.
I was going to suggest that, but he might be right.
I think based on the fact that French is coming back from injury, it'd be safe to put French in the halves because we know that Field from fullback has got that pace. I think there's less risk to Bevan French in the halves than there is at fullback on his return. So I would probably go your way. Who knows? Sean, again, you could be right, but if I'm the coach there, I'm thinking about niggles. I'm thinking about where if you want my personal opinion, I wouldn't be surprised to see him start on the bench.
It could well do, yeah. He could well do.
That one of us will be right, two of us will be wrong. We'll see where it is.
Might be wrong. You might
not. Three of us might not be in the 17.
He might not even be in the 17.
Exactly, but that's live on Sky Sports this Thursday night. Should be a good one. Should be a real good one. Really
should be an absolute belter.
Yeah, Cade Cust against Jake Connor, and of course that's a miss of me to not mention Mr. Field. But there you go. Right, let's go into the next one. This is on Friday, John Smith Stadium. Come on, Huddersfield fans, get out in force. Your team are doing well.
Come on.
7:45, John Smith Stadium. Giants taking on the Catalan Dragons. The Dragons, the form team of Super League, 5 wins now on the bounce. So they are at the moment the in-form side over the last 5 rounds. Giants, as you can see there, 3, not in bad form. Of course, again, if you look at the way Huddersfield have lost games this year, went to Wigan, only lost by 10. They only lost by 8 at Hull. They're competitive.
Down to 12 players as well.
Yeah, exactly. They're competitive, mate. They're competitive. Still no Wardle, still no Jones, and of course Will Price suspended. As for the Dragons, Mitchell Pearce is suspended. Dean Ware, he's out. Busquets out. Arthur Morg is out. But apart from that, they're in good shape. I
wonder what the halves are going to look like for the Dragons.
Yeah,
because Arthur Morg would come in for Pearce, I would have thought. But with injuries,
but he's out, isn't he? He's out, isn't he?
That's what I mean. Arthur Morg's injured. He would be the one I would think would come in.
Yeah.
Mitchell Pearce, we've debated this. Why does he only get 2 and Will Price gets 10 for the same tackle?
It was bizarre, mate. It was bizarre, but it is what it is. I think this could be a real. To be honest, and again, sorry to Leeds and Saints fans because of course that's the Sky game. This for me, I think this will be a better spectacle than the Leeds Saints game personally.
Leeds are on Sky. Yeah,
it's Leeds Saints again. Yeah, Leeds are on again.
Leeds
and don't get me wrong, traditional, if you look over the history of the last 10 Super Leagues, I get it. Leeds against Saints should be a good game. And I know they pit them in fans, but based on,
is that every week they've been on TV, Leeds?
Pretty much. And for me, and again, I get it, but from a logistical perspective, whether you're going to Headingley or whether you're going to the John Smiths, it doesn't really matter logistically. I think really what
I remember Sky once switched the game from Warrington.
Yeah.
Warrington versus Wigan because they thought they were going to get absolutely smashed.
And for me, I think Sky should do that.
Wigan. So if
we're going to grow it, don't get me wrong. Saints and Leeds fans will have something to say about that because, of course, for those who don't get off the backside and go, then they want to watch it on the TV. But for me, if we want to grow the sport, we don't want blowouts. We want spectacles on the telly. And for me, and I could be wrong now, one of these could absolutely blitz the other. But based on current form, based on current league standings and the rest of it, this for me is it. I think this would be a great game on Friday night. It'll be a close one as well. Just before we go into our thoughts on this, 77% of the fans forum have gone the Dragons.
You have the Dragons.
And they've gone 9-17 is where they see it.
Is that the fans forum gone the Dragons?
That's the fans forum gone the Dragons, yeah. They've gone the Dragons. This is a real tough one. Real tough one. I'm going to go Huddersfield here, 0-8. Where are you going?
I'm going the same as you, mate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because Huddersfield 0-8. because I think, actually, no, I'm going to go Huddersfield 9-17 because
that's a big shout.
Dragons are due a defeat.
Maybe,
and I think Mitchell Pearce is a big miss. Yeah. And it depends who they're going to put in the halves. Are they going to push Tompkins up to the halves?
Well, they've both been hindered here, haven't they, in the halves? I mean, Price being out, Pearce being out. You know, they've both got little issues in and around those positions. But I mean, there's no mention of Theo Farge being out for this, so is Farge back?
Maybe, but I think Huddersfield 9-17.
Mate, and again, you know, I can see the logic behind it. You know, I do think this is a toss of the coin job. It could go either way. But I think Huddersfield this year, with the additions that they've made to the squad, I think they've been so fair play to Ian Watson. I think his recruitment has been bang on. I really do.
We praised him last year. He was having he was having a rough time of it last year, but he's a good coach.
Good coach, and I think he's got his recruitment spot on. So credit where credit's due. So to just recap on that, I'm going Huddersfield 0-8. Greg sees it a bit stronger for Huddersfield 9-17, and the Forum 77% here going 9-17. The Catalan Dragons. Right, we now move over to the Menderhose Jungle and to Castleford Tigers, taking on Toulouse. And actually, why I'm thinking on about this, really good news this week. Hull KR, Wakefield Trinity, in terms of the ground redevelopments. Good to see those things being announced. So, you know, I saw one forum member saying, you know, a progressive, you know, Hull KR have become a progressive club. Couldn't agree with you more. Really impressed with what's going on.
They've brought the ground and they've brought the land around.
Yeah. It's really good to see.
Which can only be good news.
The marketing, the coach, the recruitment, you know, doing a great job. Right, Tigers, couple of absentees. McClellan still, O'Neill, Fecky, Richardson, Hampshire, and She's Blair.
You said Sherry Blair there, didn't you?
Very close indeed. There was a Will Smith moment. He was going to come over the pennines and give me a slap.
He don't play rugby league. He'd been out for 10 games.
Oh, mate. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Castleford Tigers, like I say, suddenly, actually, I've not updated them, actually, my apologies. Obviously, beaten Leeds, I've not updated Castleford, my apologies, Castleford fans. Beat Leeds last time out, and of course, beat, who did he beat? Actually, no, the last week, of course, they just beat Leeds in the cup. Yeah, right. Yeah, I've not put that in there. I'm confusing myself. But yeah, good performance. Toulouse Olympic. Wow, we said this last time. Obviously, the first team, you couldn't have believed it, beating Saints by 2. But yeah, Josime Shamkel and Cunningham out for Toulouse. The fans forum have had their say on this one. They have gone Castleford Tigers by 18 plus is where they see it. Where are you going?
I tend to agree with the forum. I think Tigers, they play anything like they did at the weekend, they will win by a considerable amount.
Okay. I'm going to lose. Yeah, I'm going slam dunk. I'm going Cas, but I'm not going 18s. I'm going 9s. 9-17. I'm going for Cas. I think, you know, when you look at the Toulouse performances this year, you know, Salford, you know, Warrington, very competitive, you know, but look at that Wigan score, only lost by 1, Wakefield only by 12, and Saints only by 2. So I think Toulouse, I don't think they'll travel as well as they'll play at home, but I've seen enough to think, do you know what, incredible spirit. You know, spirit goes a long way in a team, and they've got the spirit. There's a togetherness at that club. So yeah, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm gonna say they'll restrict them to less than 3 tries. Right. Okay. We now go.
Sir, brave call.
Always brave. You know, you've got to do it. Hey, mate, what else am I going to do on a Tuesday night? You know what I'm saying? What else am I going to do? It's not like I'm, you know, in the car doing 100 down the M6. So I'm in the safety of my own home discussing rugby league scores.
70, sir, 70.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's not reckless, is it? You know, 9-17, Castleford. Come on. Right. Friday, Sewell Group, Craven Park. 8 o'clock kickoff. Hull KR take on the Warrington Wolves. Based on what you said about Mr. Magoulis, I thought I'd make him the picture. Welcome, Mr. Magoulis, to Warrington. Hull KR absentees, Johnson, Albert Vete. That's good news for Warrington. In the front row. Obviously, last time out losing to Catalan, but again, you look at the teams that they've lost to. Huddersfield in great form, Saints in great, Saints being Saints, and Catalan 2 wins against Casford and Salford. Fair play. As for the Warrington Wolves, it's been a disaster since the opening 3 games of the season. The last 3 in the league: Catalan, St Helens, and of course Wakefield 38-22. No Minikin, no Harrison, and Ratchford is still out. Matty Ashton expected to play, touch and go, I believe, but expected to return to the team. Fans Forum, 75%. See KR the winners, 0-8. Where do you go, Greg?
I can't believe I'm saying this.
Go on.
KR 18+.
That's a huge shout. That's a huge shout. How far? That's hurting, isn't it? I can feel it from 25 mile away. Yeah. The hurt. I can feel it. Unbelievable.
Wakefield's backs were bigger than our forwards. All KR's backs are bigger than Wakefield's.
Yeah. Do you know what? And I'm gonna surprise everybody here. I think. And do I think am I wrong here? I am going to go Warrington. I'm going to go Warrington. I'm going to go 0-8. I think it'll be a tight contest, but I think this is a game that they could just get that result that just changes a bit of momentum.
I think that was your Lollahea moment, mate.
I think it could be, yeah. Sean, we're not looking good all year. I think Wrench plays instead of King this week also.
Yes.
King has been shocking. We spoke that. He's gone KR 9-17. But whole KR. So you're going KR 18+, 0-8. Me and the Forum see it a closer game, one way or the other. Right, we now take a little trip to the game on Sky. Headingley Stadium. Can't believe it's going to be on Sky. Leeds Rhinos, look at the list of players that they're going to be missing. Matausi is still going to be out. Matty Lee's going to be out, and Will Aparti expected not to play as well. Yeah. Wormsley is expected to return. Regan Grace obviously is back against Whitehaven, so he'll be knocking around the squad as well. So Saints strong, very, very strong. Lost, of course, last time out in Toulouse. They'll want to get back on the bike, as they say. Yeah. I think I know where you're going to go here, mate, but go on anyway.
Leeds 18+. No, mate. It's Saints all day long. Saints 18+.
You just can't see it going any way, can you? I think I'm gonna get a crystal ball moment here. I think for the first 10 minutes, I think Leeds will make it look as if they're up for the fight, and then after that, I think it's going to be.
Well, look, mate. Look, Brad Dwyer. Brad Dwyer, the player who's come on and changed things around, is suspended. Tessavano, he's got his issues, but he's a great player.
Suddenly letting Luke Gale go is not looking very good, is it?
No, it's not. It's I can't. I tell you what, if Leeds win this, it'll be one of the greatest performances in Super League history. Never mind this season. I
just can't see it, mate. You can't see it. I can't see it.
And I'm sorry, Leeds fans. This is nothing personal. I just see the game being over by half time.
I agree. I agree with you. I think as a spectacle, I could be wrong, but I think as a spectacle, this could be a pretty drab affair. So 18+ all round. But hey, Leeds fans, we said 18+ all round against Toulouse, and look what Toulouse did. So there's where there's a glimmer.
Yeah, where there's hope, there's.
I think the best line of defence is a floodlight failure. Anyway, we move on. Let's go on to Wakefield against Salford. Wakefield in great form again, and still a lot expected to be out for Wakefield in this one. Salford as well. Disappointing for them. Ken CEO expected to be out. James Greenwood also expected to be out in this one as well.
Watkins, the vet.
Yeah, so I mean, Greenwood's been playing well for him as well. Salford. you know, both of them on 4 points, both of them having very similar seasons, both of them beating Toulouse. Of the two, I mean, obviously Wakefield will be bags of confidence on, you know, 2 back-to-back wins against Warrington. Fans Forum on this one, 85% Wakefield, 9-17 they went. Where do you see it?
Can Wakefield back up from those 2 games that went against Warrington? That there's obviously huge emotion behind it.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of players out there.
Yeah.
I think Lino has played absolutely magnificently the 2 games against Warrington. He's just been superb.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Wakefield, I think 9-17.
Going 9-17. I've gone 9-17. That's where I've seen it as well. So we've all gone Wakefield there. Andy and Sue, Saints losing to Toulouse will condemn Leeds. Wouldn't disagree with that. Wouldn't disagree with that at all. As always, we'll just do our usual little statement. Oh, hang on a minute. Oh, that's where we go in there, sir. What are you doing? He says. Absolutely scandal. Obviously, we do this for the love of the game. Me and Greg, as we always say, don't make any money from this. We haven't really used any footage this week, but it's always worth a mention that this is what we do, and this is why we do it. So, Greg, that has brought another fantastic show. I really enjoyed the 13. Really enjoyed that chat. Thought it was a really well worth a debate over 20 minutes, which was good. We will be back. We will be back as always this time next week, Tuesday nights. Wouldn't be the same without a little bit of weekly. Sean saying it was a great stream. Cheers, Sean. And thanks for getting involved, Sean. Well done, mate. Top effort. Maybe if you want to come on one week, Sean, just drop us a line. We'd be delighted to have you, mate. Delighted to have you on the show with us, mate. Be great to have you here. But yeah, enjoy your rugby league. Obviously, 2 games on Sky. Obviously, we've got NRL as well on Sky. I think the Rabbit Holes run again on Friday against Penrith. The Rabbit Holes get in there against the Roosters last week. We're on fire. Outstanding.
What a weekend that was, though. What a weekend of Aussie rugby that was. It was superb.
Mate, it's great. There's
Did
nothing
you see
better.
that tackle? Oh my God. Oh God. Did you? Oh my God. I felt that here, and it was like the other side of the world.
I know, mate. I know. It was brutal, absolutely brutal. But no, the NRL, mate. I mean, there's nothing better than getting up on a, you know, if you're off up on a Thursday or Friday morning when they show a game.
Yeah,
what a great way. You know, Weetabix are brewing NRL. It doesn't get any better than that. I've just told James, Sean has said, I've just told James, tell Greg, thumbs up. I'm Dave, he's Greg. But yeah, no, absolutely, mate.
Sean.
Sean, mate, if you want to come on, just drop us a line. Just message us on the fans forum. Just drop me a line on the fans forum, and we'll arrange a week and you can come on, mate. Happy days, Greg. Enjoy your rugby league, everybody. We'll be back next week, ladies and gentlemen. It's been an absolute pleasure. Go safe, and we'll see you this time next week.
See you soon, guys. Cheers.